Hello folks, welcome back to the channel, and we're going to have a look at another Addiesdive today. Now this particular one, I've heard some people have said that they think it's a slightly confused watch, but well, let's have a look at it and see what we think, see what you think as well. Standard Addiesdive box, and this is what it came in, this little plastic bag wrapped around that, whatever that is. You get your swing tag, and your warranty card, usual thing, and then you get an instruction manual, which is actually, I've read this, and it's actually quite good for a kind of a Far Eastern warranty or instruction book. It's actually quite helpful. You get your usual tool for poking out the links in your bracelet. There's a spare link that I took out, and this is the clasp that it comes on or comes with, and we will talk about that in a minute. You know what this is going to be, so you can probably guess what I'll put on it. But anyway, let's pop that to one side and have a look at this kind of confused watch. Is it confused? I don't know, are there any particular rules? But, some say it's a pilot's watch, some say it's a diver's watch, some say it's a mixture of both, which I'd go with. But, is there really any rules? Do you have to have a diver's watch that doesn't have Arabics on the dial, large Arabics at that? I mean, as long as it's legible, what does it matter? But anyway, and the other thing is, this is not, as far as I can tell, the usual one-to-one copy and paste. Yes, you could probably see one or two influences of some other things in there. I believe the case shape is very reminiscent of a brand or a micro brand called Veya, but the rest of it is kind of their own. And I think, it's a nice watch anyway. But let's get into what we've got here. Case size, we've got a case size of 40.5, including the crown. It's 43. We've got a lug to lug, and you guys with smaller wrists are probably going to like this, of 46 millimeters. However, if you keep it on the bracelet, you can see that we do have male end links, or that center of the end link, so it does come out a bit further than that. But if you're going to swap straps, doesn't matter. We'll talk about the strap in a bit. We've got a thickness of 14.8, and that includes that really rather nicely domed sapphire crystal with the blue AR coating. We've got a lug width of 20 mil and an overall weight of 165 grams. The construction of the watch is all 316L stainless steel, apart from the insert on that bezel, which is ceramic. Now the finishing on the watch is actually really good, and we'll move in on that and we'll take a closer look. As you can see, it is predominantly brushed, and the brushing is done to a pretty good standard. Nice large crown there, no crown guards, and I quite like the way that this bezel kind of overhangs and has got that kind of taper out. It actually makes getting to that bezel incredibly easy. Then you move around and you've got this kind of downturn in the lugs, which I guess is kind of reminiscent of some Omegas. But the case shape, I've definitely seen that on a Veya. Then you've got brushing on the bracelet and a high polished center link, which is not my favourite. And then brushing around the outside. No high polish at all on the case itself. As far as the dial goes, now I think from a legibility standpoint, that's pretty good. Not going to have any trouble with that at all. You got the your minute track around the outside and your Arabics. You got Addiesdive, which is printed, unframed date window at the 3 o'clock position, and then automatic 200 meters just above your 6 o'clock position. The hands, they've polarized some people as well. They're actually got that kind of a copper color to them. I have to say, I actually quite like it. Although under kind of macro, getting really up close to it, the edges of the hands are just a tad rough. But you know, you don't really get that close in on a watch. I mean, from the usual kind of what's the time perspective, you know, they look okay, and I don't mind. I mean, they're a break from the traditional Mercedes style or the standard fence post style that you tend to get with divers. Now, the only thing that would make it not a diver is the seconds hand, which does not have a Lume pip on it. But the seconds hand does reach all the way out to that chapter ring, as does the minute hand, and the hour hand cuts across the bottom of those numbers nicely. So I think that's actually quite well thought out. The crown is screw down. It's very easy to grip, no issues with that at all. It's got good grip to it, and that has got a nice pop. The movement inside this is a Seiko NH35A, so take it out to your first position to adjust the date, take it out to the second position, the movement will hack, as you see, and then you can change your time, pop it back in, screw it up, and there's no grittiness. It's nice and smooth, good action. Yeah, no trouble with that at all. Now the bezel, as you can see, it's got that ceramic insert. The edging on the bezel, the coin edging, is very easy to grip, and because it's got that kind of taper to it, there's no issues with that at all. So I'll be quiet so you can hear that. It's quite nice, quite a nice action, not bad at all. It does line up reasonably well. There's no back play, no wobble. So yeah, that's pretty impressive so far. Now then, the bracelet. This is where I think this kind of gets let down, and it's kind of the same with Addiesdive and Steel Dive. They're all pretty much the same. You know, I think they just go to a giant bucket full of bracelets and they put on what they've got. Now that's high polished centre links. Definitely not a fan of that, because you know, you're forever going to be cleaning it or rubbing it. 20mm here tapers down to 18mm at the clasp. And talking of the clasp, this is the one that comes with the watch, and it is the standard Addiesdive pressed clasp. Very unremarkable, pretty nasty, so I have changed this one out while I've been wearing it to a just a milled clasp, which you can pick up on AliExpress for 3 or 4 quid. I've also noticed that these press clasps that you get from AliExpress, they've started to finish these edges a bit better, because some of them I've had have been a bit rough. Anyway, moving on to the back of the watch, you've got the Addiesdive logo, which is etched onto the back there, and then your various information around the outside. Addiesdive stainless steel automatic movement, NH35 divers, 200 meters, solid end links, fully brushed on the back, screw down case back. So yeah, I mean, 200 meters, definitely a useful depth rating. You know, does it really matter if it's got the kind of the appearance on the dial of, you know, possibly a pilot style watch and kind of dress watch hands? Yeah, it's a little bit of a mismatch, but I think it's something different. I quite like it. But that's just me, you know. Let me know in the comments what you think. You know, do you think this is a confused watch? Yeah, I think it's pretty good. It shows that they have actually maybe put a little bit of thought into this one. The bracelet is on push pins. Yeah, nothing remarkable. It's okay, it does the job, but I think it does actually look quite a bit better if you stick it on a rubber strap or a NATO, because, you know, high polished centre links. Yeah, it's not great for a kind of a tooly watch. These will they're running at around about £100, so I think, you know, value wise, yeah, they're pretty good. Now let's have a look at the Lume on this. Now Addiesdive, I've actually got a head-to-head underway between those two sumo homages, and that's going to be quite interesting. I've already done the Lume sequence on that. I think you'll like that. But anyway, let's take a look at this. I don't know if it's going to be completely dark in here, but let's have a look. Dark enough. Well, there you go. You can't argue with that. Now this, they use C3 Super Luminova. This does indeed last all night. The bezel tends to kind of fade out a little bit first, closely followed by the indices. The hands definitely hang on in there, but as you can see, we've got no loom pip on the second hand, so you know, it wouldn't really qualify as a diver. So maybe that's where people have kind of you know, looked at the fact that, you know, maybe it's a slightly confused piece, but you know, I still quite like it. I quite like the aesthetic of it. But yeah, the Lume is very, very good. Like I said, you can read that all night, no issues at all. As far as things that I kind of don't like about it, there's the pressed clasp. You know, we all know about that. Don't need to talk about that anymore. As far as Addiesdive and Steel Dive go, I don't like the polished centre links on the bracelet. I just wish that they would, you know, put a bracelet on that's a bit more in keeping, perhaps, because they do have, you know, fully brushed bracelets. I've had them on other watches, so it wouldn't be impossible. And if I'm honest, the bezel on this, even though it's got a very nice action and it works very well and it lines up, it is a little on the sharp side. When you're using it, it was quite a surprisingly sharp. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I actually think that it's quite a good watch. Yeah, decent value, around about 100 quid. You can pick them up on AliExpress, and places like Watch Dives, I think they do them as well. So yeah, definitely worth a thought. In, you know, that's how I see them anyway. If you like this kind of content, then please give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think about this watch. As I said, is it a confused watch? Do you see pilot? Do you see diver? Do you see both? You know, yeah, maybe you're a pilot that is a little bit worried about having a ditch in the sea, so you need a diver's watch. Who knows? But yeah, please like this video, subscribe to the channel. And as I said, comment down below, let me know what you think. But that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. Cheers for now.